Hi, everyone. Happy February. I'm going to give a full energy update on today's podcast episode, talking about huge astrological transits happening this month, as well as the channel messages that I downloaded for the month ahead. So let's get right into it. First, let's talk about what's happening astrologically. We start off the month on February 1st, the Leo full moon, and this also coincides with one of the Celtic holidays called Imbolc. And Imbolc is a holiday that marks the halfway point between winter and spring, and its major theme is returning to the light. Now, it is by no coincidence that it's also the same day as the Leo full moon, and Leos are all about confidence, truth, and authenticity, very much in reverence to the light because Leo is ruled by the sun. So there is this overall theme this month of going into new beginnings and allowing in fresh new energy to take place. And February kind of holds that doorway between letting go of the past and walking into the new. Now, for a lot of us this month, we're really going to start to feel those shifts taking place mid-month. February 13th, we have Saturn moving into Aries. He's been in Pisces for the past 3 years. So if you have a Saturn return, meaning natally you have Saturn in Pisces, you are definitely going to feel this shift. We also have on February 17th the start of eclipse season, starting with our solar eclipse in Aquarius. And this day also coincides with a different energy systems holiday, the Lunar New Year. According to the Chinese zodiac, we moved from the year of the wooden snake, which is all about cycles, endings, completions, into the year of the fire horse, which is all about change and momentum and new beginnings and being in your power. More to come on those themes, but really February holds that threshold. So there is every opportunity to have a lot of shifts, a lot of changes that are happening this month. One of the messages that I channeled was this month can actually feel like a Kundalini activation. Kundalini, for those who aren't aware, it's a yogic practice that works with your energy channels called the chakras. And so when you have this deep awakening, it feels like all of a sudden the lights are turned on and you're seeing things clearly and for truthfully as they are. And it feels like this big aha moment. So some of us, that is what this month may feel like for you. It can feel like this huge aha moment, lots of light bulb moments that are going to fill you up. But the caveat is, in order for that newness to come in, you truly have to let go of the past. And we've had a whole year of cycles ending and completions, but often when we're in that cycle of endings and completions, we're not experiencing the new beginnings yet. We're still kind of wrestling and going through that hard process of truly letting go, thinking that we let go of it, and then spirit is telling you again, nope, you got a little bit more to let go. Nope, you got to surrender a little bit more and to truly learn that lesson. So, one of the images that I got for this month ahead was of the lotus flower, and I love this metaphor. I've learned this a lot in yogic traditions, is that the lotus only blooms from the gook and heaviness of the mud. And in so many ways, we've really been in this muddy, murky waters for the past year. We've had a lot of planets in Pisces, which is all about this kind of like subliminal space, murkiness, cloudiness, fogginess. And if you've been feeling that in your body, this is a lot of the old energy that wants to move. And sometimes when we look at this, when it comes up, we can see it as the enemy, that resentment, and we're just like over it and we're tired of this. And that honestly keeps you in this victim mindset of why is this happening to me when you see that mud as disgust. But when you see that that mud actually lays the foundation for your next beautiful iteration yet, your next lotus flower bloom, you can really hold it with such appreciation and gratitude, and it helps with that release and really you coming into this next version of yourself. So when you feel that gunk and that mud and you're able to witness it, that's a great thing to bring awareness to it. And if you can almost even experience gratitude for it and what it has taught you and how it is really forming you into your next version yet. There are positive and powerful cosmic shifts happening this month. So, like I said, we have the start of eclipse season, and eclipse season is about this 6 week period where it's said to have fated events, destiny points. So, I truly believe that the universe is constantly shifting us to be on our highest timeline yet. So, sometimes in eclipse season, big shifts can take place because if we're not in those exact points, where we're supposed to be, the universe is going to make sure that that happens. And sometimes it can feel like we're being stripped away. And when these shifts take place, sometimes fear comes up because we're like, oh, I thought that thing was going to be in my life for a little bit longer, or that thing was giving me security. What do I do without it? How do I find security without this thing? And with all these shifts that are taking place, instead of choosing fear of, oh my gosh, why is this happening to me? Am I going to be able to survive? All those fearful thoughts, Spirit is wanting you to get into the mode of, how is this letting me step into my fuller truth? And how is this actually who I came here to be? Is this is bringing me into a great alignment. The quickest you can come to that realization, the more you're going to be able to allow these changes and shifts to take place with more ease and also have fun in the process of it. Like these processes are not meant to be so painful. They're not meant to be so heavy. It truly is your choice on how you want to experience these shiftings, these shifts taking place. Now, another practice that can really help you when it feels that the landscape of your world is truly shifting, and for some of us, it really will feel like that. It really will feel like the outer world is beginning to shift. When that happens, your peaceful practice is a non-negotiable. This is something that I've been talking through to exhaustion in every single one of my collective readings over the past year. It came up like I think in every month when I did a collective reading, is to have a meditation practice. And this is because we're in times where the collective is going through chaos and change and shifts, and it's out of our control. There's, of course, always things that we can do to feel and are sovereign, but ultimately we can't control what happens externally. So you could either choose to get caught up into that chaos, or you can choose to find your inner peace. And for a lot of us, that's not even to become a choice anymore, because if you are to be healers and creatives and inspirers for the world around you, you'll need to maintain that inner set of peace in order for you to also contribute to the collective change and growth of everyone else around you. So be sure that you are staying with your peaceful practice this month. Another message that came through. Some of us are going to have a big idea or insight that comes through. I see this really happening mid-month because there's so much of this like big change energy happening. And I see this coming through that peaceful practice that you have. Like it has to come through stillness. It has to come through being really settled and grounded into your body. And it's just going to come almost seemingly out of thin air, because that's how all ideas and great insights really come from. It's going to come from a really creative place, but it's actually going to inspire a more strategy action plan for you that you're going to want to start working on in your everyday life. So for some of us, this might be like an idea that you put towards your business, and then when you bring this idea into your conscious mind, then you're able to take like tangible steps and actions and commit to them every week and so on and so forth. It's something about this idea that comes in through, it comes in a really creative way and it kind of comes in out of the blue, but it comes in and then you're meant to act on it in your physical world. So again, that is only going to happen if you clear the space for it and there has a space for it to land, but there's definitely an opportunity for this insight and idea to come through this month. This next message that came through, I love. It's more of like a advice and a guidance for the month ahead. And I really saw that your energy is going to work best with small, consistent effort and not short, intense bursts. That may be how you worked before in the past or how you've seen people get successful, but truly the way forward is small, consistent efforts over time that are going to aggregate. And if you feel like you're already in this mode, then your guides want you to celebrate and really own that, because that is huge. That is the energy that we're shifting in. We're not shifting into like this big, intense burnout and then like to exhaustion energy anymore. It's meant to be long and sustainable. So making sure that if you do have these goals, if you do have these ideas that come through, that you're just taking small, sustainable actions towards that will get you to, and they're going to aggregate over time. And of course, like, more effort you put in, that will get you to where you need to be, but it has to start small. And that's going to keep your like internal flame going. We have this beautiful metaphor in Ayurveda about how digestion is king, because if digestion is off, then it will also relate to disease and lead to disease in all the other systems of the body. So we think of digestion as logs and a flame, a campfire. Like, what am I trying to say here? I'm picturing it. And in order for that campfire to stay lit, you have to slowly add the logs to it. You can't add too much at one time, or otherwise the fire is going to be put out. And you can't have too much wind, otherwise it's just going to exasperate the fire. But you have to add the exact nutrients to it, and it has to be small and slowly and nurturing and feeding it constantly. And that's constantly, if you have this passion that you're bringing to your life right now, that is what you need to do. It's like this constant feeding and nurturing and tending to it. It's not going to come from these like short, intense bursts, although we like to think of that in our day and age because we see that a lot with like instant fame and success. But the way forward is going to be these small, sustainable changes that you make. Okay, now for some cards that I pulled for the month ahead. So the first tarot card that I pulled was the Eight of Pentacles, and this is really about becoming a mastery at your work. So that last message that I just said, I feel really relates to the Eight of Pentacles. And so the way you're able to really like master your energy is by realizing you need to move slowly and put in effort and consistently, but it's the aggregation of that over time where you are going to become a master at it and you're going to get to the success that you really want to build into your life. So know that the work that you're putting down, the foundations, the meditation practice, all those things really matter this month, and they are getting you to where you need to be and opening up windows of opportunities that are meant to come forward to you. They're meant to be new beginnings. They're meant to be new, fresh energy, but it's going to happen with your consistent effort. I also pulled the Two of Wands, and the Two of Wands is like inspiration, collaboration, of like passion. So I feel like there is going to be a lot of this like resurgence and back and like the candle being lit again. Like last year was a lot about water energy, and this year is a lot about fire energy. So there is something that's going to stoke you. Maybe this idea or insight that comes through really fuels you, and then you feel really inspired to have a strategy and to make effort towards that. Then I pulled the Nine of Swords. So I see a lot of us like maybe still struggling through negative thinking or self-doubt, the thing that keeps us in these darker places. And this, again, this is the opportunity for you to let that go, to be done with that story, to be done with the overthinking and the addiction to thinking about things that have happened in the past or trying to project a future that hasn't happened yet. This is really time to lay that down and to lay it to rest because there's so much positivity that is available and ready to come forward, but it's only going to come forward if you're willing to put down all of this pain in the past and the overthinking. And then the last card that I pulled for this month was the Empress, which I love. So many of you, when I do readings, are stepping into your divine feminine energy, and there is so much potential this month for a lot of that divine feminine energy to come forward. And the way that I'm feeling that is like becoming like the truth of who you are and who you came here to be. A lot of us came here to be fully in our divine feminine energy, which is receiving things with gratitude and grace and feeling like, of course, that I am worthy of receiving this. Of course, this is coming to me. And also with the divine feminine energy, it's being in the flow with the rhythm, your own internal rhythms, and then also the rhythms of nature. So living in harmony and feeling in flow and harmony. And that means not attaching yourself to the chaos of the world. Like that is not the chaos of the world right now is not in harmony with nature. That's why there's this disruption. That's why there's this chaos that is happening. But if you are aligned with nature and with your trueness, then you will find the flow. You will find the receiving and the giving and all the things that are meant to come into your life. So you have to direct your frequency and kind of like turn the dial up on that frequency in order for you to be in that receiving mode. And there's so many different practices for this. This is why I love guiding women to connect to their divine feminine energy. So there's so many ways to do this. And it's really about just feeling doing the things that feel authentic to you. So for some of us, that's like creative practices. For some of us, that's like a lot of self-care and nurturing practices like Ayurveda and bringing that to the forefront. Okay, so that was a lot for this month. I also share my February intuitive messages on my Instagram, Substack, and newsletter, so you can always follow me there. But I'm excited for February. It seems like it's packing with a punch. A lot of us have been craving the change, so here's the change. It is available to you if it is yours for the taking. You just have to make those inner shifts as well so that these changes can take place. Thank you all so much for listening. I'm so excited for the month of February, and I'm wishing you well.